By great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Sangye chodang soki chonam la chanchu pardu dami kyapsu che dagi chinso gepe sonam ki dola penche sangye dubar sho sangye chodang soki chonam la chanchu pardu dami kyapsu che dagi chinso gepe sonam ki dola penche sangye dubar sho sangye chodang soki chonam la Chanchu pardu dani kyapsu che dagi chinso gibe sonam ki dola penche sange dupar sho. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha by my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha by my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha by my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is freed of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all lead hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, who through the knowledge of paths causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of omniscience helps subduers expound the variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugatha, and protector, to you I make prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. The essence of dependent origination mantra. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tatha gato hyavadat tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashamanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tatha gato hyavadat tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashamanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tatha gato hyavadat tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashamanaye swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite, such is the nectar-like dharma I have discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching, in silence I will retire into the woods. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. It is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the three times, I pay obeisance. Fossils of the Buddha's teachings, all composite things are impermanent, all contaminated things are of the nature of suffering, all phenomena are of the nature of emptiness and selflessness, transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of eons. The Buddha does the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Please turn to page number 14 for praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, to Gatha, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born in this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I'm supreme in this world. To you who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme science face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit like a vast ocean. To you, the Bhagata, I prostrate. The purity the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime to the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are to liberation, the holy field qualified with realization, who are devoted to precepts, to you, the Sangha, I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits, may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the four faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, but the waves of aging, sickness ended. Next, heart's perfection of wisdom mantra. Page number 31. Recite the mantra for 7 times. Dayatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Odi Swaha Dayatha Om Gate Gate Parate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Dayatha Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Dayatha Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Dayatha Om Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Dayatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha तयथा ॐ गति परगते परसंगते bodhi. Thank you.
Okay, Tinshugala, the three stanzas for Bodhisattva vows. Thank you. Okay, let us take this opportunity for us to generate bodhicitta, to activate the state of bodhicitta. And bodhicitta, it is like, say, to germinate or to plant the tree of the bodhicitta. We need a seed, and we need constant watering of the plant, watering of the seed to germinate it, and then to grow into saplings, and then to grow into a tree, and then to a full blossom tree with fruits. So, for that matter, like the seed, it is for us to to actually engage in the steps, like the sevenfold cause effect method to generate bodhicitta. Likewise, the following the steps to meditate on the method of equalizing and exchanging self for others to generate bodhicitta. So these two steps, these two methods, we need to really incorporate in our life. And then with this, you will see that over time, you will see that your compassion, your feeling of love and affection towards others is really going from deep inside. And then constantly it must be invigorated. It must be reinforced by other factors like day-to-day life. In a day-to-day life, just see how much you can be of kind towards others, not giving into anger. And then the another factor is like generating bodhicitta, these stanzas, reciting the stanzas, if possible, as oftentimes, and particularly the first stanza given here. So this we can recite, we can make a habit of saying the food offering verses before every food, and then after the food offering verses, you can then include this stanza after the bodhicitta, which I do it myself, and some people, some of my friends. This is not really the tradition, but in a way, it's nice that I may say I'm a little lazy. So therefore, being a lazy is good. That we look for ways and means by which I don't compromise with the meditation on bodhicitta. So I include this stanza as a part of the food offering at the end of the food offering, and then I made it just like a rule to say it, and then I eat. I say generally 3 times: morning breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then oftentimes I skip dinner, and particularly if there's no programs happening after dinner, then I skip the dinner. Where there's something happening, then for the energy I have, so that's very good. And then I'm able to generate bodhicitta. I'm able to activate the seed of bodhicitta by saying the stanza, reflect on it, after every meal. And then in between, if you take some extra tea, extra juice, and some extra sweets, whatever, then again you can offer it, and then you add this stanza. That's amazing. So in one day, minimum you have like 3 times or 4 times of activating the seed of bodhicitta, and then in a year, like 300 and 365 days, whatever, multiplied by 3 is almost like 1,000 times the activation of the seed of bodhicitta. So these are the skillful ways by which later on, when you meditate in bodhicitta, the bodhicitta can be activated more quickly, be generated more quickly. So these are things. So we will wholeheartedly say this first stanza 3 times, followed by the remaining 2 stanzas 3 times together. And reinforce the visualization of and bodhisattvas. Well, the Tenzin Lhagchen already indicated in the beginning of this the recitation, and then you just see them as the mother of a single child, and whose mind, heart, and soul, everything is towards the child. This is exactly how we visualize all the Buddhas Bodhisattvas doing towards you. One, and the Buddhas Bodhisattvas, they are feeling so proud that you, as the youngest daughter, you as the youngest son, as the eldest son or the eldest daughter, very young, very tender yourself, very young yourself, still you are taking the responsibility of all the siblings by cultivating this very strong bodhicitta feeling of for all the demon sentient beings. They are so proud and happy, and you, including your two parents and all demon sentient beings around you, your children, everyone around you, and the way I said it, that you are seeing yourself as a mother, or you are seeing yourself as the eldest child, and taking the responsibility over all your siblings. So and all your siblings, they so happily join you in this journey of extracting the greatest meaning out of their life, which is awakening the Buddha nature. With that in mind, let's recite this stanza with them wholeheartedly. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. Okay. The next two stanza is the actual generation bodhicitta, the actual aspiration bodhisattva vow. And let's invoke and try to invoke the respective experiences to the best you can. Okay, the two stanzas. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successively dwelt in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too the successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices. The Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successively dwelled in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successively dwelled in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Okay, for generating bodhicitta, we notice that in the verses that we use, these two verses which we read the last, came from Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, Bodhisattva Chandrajiva's text. So here there's this element of, you building the courage to engage in the Bodhisattva practices, in a manner in which you learn from the previous Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. This one. And then in the stanzas from Arya Sanga's text, you find a mention that it is like inviting. So they are taking the Bodhisattva vows. They are done from various aspects. So from the other stanzas, you see that other verses, you see that it is like inviting all the sentient beings as your guests to this feed of generating bodhicitta. And then the Guide to Bodhisattva's Way of Life is like, yes, I will engage in the Bodhisattva practices, the courageously engaging in it, and the other one is inviting all the beings as your guests to this feed of the generating bodhicitta and eventually to become Buddha. So these are all different the facets or the different aspects of and of course we need all. Okay. Now, continuation from where we left last time of the six perfections, the classifications of each of the six perfections. We are doing the generosity done, ethical discipline done, patience done. Next is the joyous effort, or in Tibetan is tsuntu, tsuntu, T-S-O-N-D-R-U-E, tsuntu, T-S-O-N-D-R-U-E, tsuntu. In English, it can have several translations. Some people translate this as the joyous effort, and others translate this as enthusiasm, and still others may translate it as perseverance, enthusiasm, joyous effort. Okay, and the meaning remains the same. So what does it mean by joyous effort? What does it mean by enthusiasm in the context of the six perfections? Is finding joy in virtue. This is meaning, finding joy in virtue. This is what is very commonly found as the definition or as the meaning of perseverance, joyous effort, or enthusiasm, the way presented by the great masters. Okay, for example, in Guided Bodhisattva's Way of Life, you'll find that, and then in the Abhidhamma Kosh, you find that. So, in other words, this is very unanimously accepted as the meaning, finding joy in virtue. Okay, so if you could remember how they explained to you the functions of each of these perfections. The joyous effort, it is for you to eventually your point is to stop the negativities and then turn your train towards the the intended goal of the fearlessness, which is nirvana, and Buddha, the infinite happiness, which is Buddhahood. So your train, which is otherwise going towards the samsara, or going towards the precipice, to fall along the precipice. So from there, precipice of samsara, precipice of lack of happiness. So there, first your job is, so what takes you there? The negativities. So first we have to stop it. Once you stop that, this is not your the final goal. This is just a part of the journey. And after stopping the train, you have to take U-turn, or you have to reverse it. So reversing it is going towards the virtue, going towards enlightenment, going towards nirvana, going towards Buddhahood. So that is a virtue that takes you there. And this virtue, given that this journey is a very long journey, nirvana, particularly Buddhahood, is like 3 countless eons. So this journey must be expedited, must be so fast. So how can we make the journey very fast and not exhausting, not tiring? It's only if you find joy in the journey. If you find joy in the journey, and this will not then make you feel bothered. This will not make you feel give up. This will not make you feel burnout. Oftentimes, when people do something good, they go through burnout cases. Oftentimes, like nurses, medical doctors, then the health professionals, they feel the burnout. And oftentimes, even the medical doctors, is extremely sad stories that they don't really get any, the rest. And then, sometimes in the whole way, within the hospital, then the way to the wherever, the pharmacy or the operation theater, just on the way, they just sit for like 2-3 minutes as a rest and then fall asleep. These things happen. But of course, there are so many good doctors, and there are terrible doctors also, right? Okay, There are many good ones, amazing good ones there. So this is samsara. It's a huge shop. All the good things, bad things, everything is there. You can buy everything. This is samsara. Yeah. So the point is that this journey is a quite a tedious journey, and unless we find joy in this, then you can easily quit. So we have to make sure that this journey, the going towards Buddhahood Nirvana, it must be full of joy to keep you going, and to make sure that the journey is completed. For that matter, we need the perseverance. We need this, the joyous effort or the enthusiasm. So, which is defined as finding joy in virtue. Okay. And before I forget it, while we talk about enthusiasm, while we talk about joyous effort, and I should not be lazy, and so forth. Meanwhile, always we find that the people are trapped in the extremes. We should be able to identify what these extremes are. And on that basis, just see that finally the journey happens. Journey happens in the most effective way. It doesn't mean that journey happens in the perfect way. Don't expect perfection. The moment you expect perfection, then the problems arise. A journey must be happening in the most effective way within the given situation. Don't expect perfection. Perfection means with no matter what the situation is, my journey should be perfect. And we, the vehicle, we as the beings, the vehicle is not perfect. So how can we expect the journey to be perfect? So this is totally unrealistic. We should be very realistic. Don't expect the perfection. Expect the best within the given situation. What you can do, what best you can do, perform it. And then don't try to compare too much with other people. Comparing, and if your energy is boosted, do it. Comparing, if your energy dies, if you feel demoralized, if you feel demotivated, don't compare yourself with others. Whereas in some cases, when you compare, it boosts your energy. Do it. That's good. Some people say they never compare. Some people say that yes, you have to compare. Some parents, and particularly some mothers, they say the boy of the neighbor, the daughter, the girl of the neighbor is doing so good. Has scored all A plus, right? And then you scored B. Which means that they're comparing and creating tension and stress. And if it helps the child to get A plus all the time, and the child becomes happier, committing no suicide, that's fine. But then oftentimes the children, they commit suicide because of unrealistic and the unskillfulness of the parents. So the point is that compare, not compare. Some people say never compare. This is also very unrealistic. Always go into the middle way. Compare where you don't feel burnout. Where you don't feel burnout, your energy is boosted. Energy boosted, do it. Otherwise, without comparison, the tendency is that we are lazy people, right? Samsara, and then what is laziness? We'll study, right? Enthusiasm, the opposite of enthusiasm is laziness. So this is what we are, right? Yeah. So the point is that the little bit of comparisons, and His Holiness calls it as a positive competition. It's a very beautiful way of presenting it. A positive competition. A competition where you grow and others grow. A negative the competition is competition where you feel burnout and others are being pulled by you. When that happens, pulled by you, instead of letting them grow, you just pull them, and then you feel demotivated, you feel burnout. This is destructive competition. This must not happen. So where others grow, you grow. That should happen. Okay. So with this in mind, I say so to learn what are the classifications of enthusiasm, joyous effort, or perseverance. First we learn the opposite of the three, opposites of the three. No, opposite of the enthusiasm. Opposite of enthusiasm is laziness. Laziness. This is the opposite of enthusiasm. Okay. So what kind of laziness are there? Laziness, no need. We all know what laziness is. We all experience this. Experientially, we expert, right? But the point is that we cannot articulate what they are. We are so submerged that we see everything as the blend, the homogenized. But the reality is there are three kinds of laziness. The first one is laziness of laziness of being attached to the trivialities, laziness of being attached to the trivial purposes, trivialities or the trivial purposes. Okay, let's say that okay, I'll share with you an anecdote. I don't know whether I shared with this group. It was when I was in class 12. Class 12 means high school, the last year. Class 12. And after which all the boys and girls were to leave for college. And class 12, it was extremely competitive and extremely the last deciding point, the last point in your school. And we were in the boys' school. Before the boys' school, meaning the boys' hostel. Before I joined the monastery. And of course, I was one of the most industrious students, one who is really, really working so hard, and it was extremely tense, stressful inside. So we had to go through like this for about 3 months. 3 months so intense, mentally so stressed, and late night burning the, what is that? There's an English expression, burning the late night lamp, oil, late night oil. Yeah, it's staying like 3 a.m. voluntarily, 3 a.m. Okay, and then they say in the daytime there used to be some break time, like half an hour break, and there used to be one boy, my classmate, and he would just say something. I don't know what he was saying. He was saying something, and it is so pleasant. It's extremely relieving. So all the boys, minimum like say the 10, 15 boys were all around him, and he was just saying something, and we just do not want to go to our respective rooms to study. And then the bell rings, we have to leave. We cannot be serious, we'll be punished. We'll be put a penalty. And we'll feel, no. Then what I should feel is that after the exam, when the exam completes, then I'll always stay with him. It's so healing. Okay. And after the exam, nobody was around him. Everybody was with so because of the stress, exam stress, when he was talking something trivial things, and then we feel attached to it. So being attached to the trivialities, this is laziness actually. This is a form of laziness. Okay, so this one. Second laziness is the laziness of procrastination, delaying, right? Okay, the class is at 5:30. Class is at 5:30 p.m. Indian time, Indian Standard Time. Okay, 15 minutes, somebody will say the prayers. Okay, no mind, we continue, right? 15 minutes, right? Let the person continue. And then okay, now it's already 15 minutes. No mind, Gishira will not start the teaching directly. He will say something else, right? Okay. Right. And then your excitement is increased. Actually, there's no excitement. Actually, there's no excitement, but in your mind, you are feeling so like this more because now the class is happening. I should be going there, and then you say, "Oh, never mind. I will listen to recording." You're getting it. So this is what is known as procrastination, laziness of procrastination. Number 2. This is what most people identify as laziness. The first one, most people will not identify as laziness. It is actually one of the worst laziness. The being attached to the trivialities over the more meaningful purposes. Then number three is what most people will not identify as laziness. Number 3 is the laziness of underestimating one's own potential. The laziness of underestimating one's own potential. This is one of the greatest lazinesses, and this is one of the greatest factors, one of the greatest factors for one's failures. Underestimating one's own potential. In fact, it is the personal experience. Earlier, like maybe 5 years ago, till that point, I learn about all these things, and I see them as more like theory. Whether they're really the case or not, underestimating a potential. Everybody has the same potential. It's just a matter of the opportunity. But is it really true? Oh yeah, it should be true because it's said in the text. But now, I don't know whether because of the age or because of encounter with many situations, I can say that that's very true. In fact, it is the greatest failure is to underestimate one's own potential. This is the greatest failure. Nobody can fail us. It is only you who can fail it. The moment you say that I cannot do it, I don't have that sharpness, I don't have that intelligence, I don't have that the stamina, I don't have this, I don't have that. The moment we underestimate our own potential, this is the greatest failure. Nobody can fail you. It is only your underestimating your own potential that makes you fail. This is the greatest failure. It is only you who can fail yourself. And then I have really seen that. I've really seen that. Say, when I was studying in my monastery, in Debungasur Monastery, I noticed, I really saw that with my own eyes. And then now, it became really very prominent that anybody who never gives up, where there is will, there is way. Anybody who does not give up, right? Conventionally, people may say, okay, he's not really intelligent, she's not intelligent. No, this is not the point. Just you do your job. Don't look for excuses that I'm not intelligent, I'm not this. Just do your job. Be consistent, be passionate, be consistent, and you'll reach somewhere. Guaranteed. Meanwhile, your intelligence builds up. Your intelligence is sharpened with everyone. And your skills develop. This is what I could see. So therefore, the third one is extremely important, and that the pertaining to, say for example, the goals. There are several goals. Some goals which are intended to be accomplished within a given time. For example, deadlines. All the deadlines are, say, okay, you have to do this task within this time. So this deadline, which means that you have to do. Whereas the Nirvana and Buddhahood, there is no deadline. Nirvana and Buddhahood, there is no deadline. The thing is that anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. The point is that how much you dedicated your time and energy in the previous time, previously, meaning in the first part of this life and the previous lives, how much you have dedicated, right? If you're not dedicated this much of time and energy, then of course you have to dedicate now. You have to dedicate more. If you have invested more money for the last like 30 years, and if you've never invested anything in the last 30 years, then you have to invest more. So likewise, it's natural that some people who have already invested so much of energy, resources, time, and effort from the past lives. So in this life, it becomes easier for them. It becomes quicker for them. But whereas for others who did not really invest this much of time, energy, resources in the past lives, and in this life, the fact that we come in contact with this Dharma, we are very fortunate. And then from this, you just calculate, from just you assess yourself and then to yourself and see how much I've invested in the past. And on that basis, then you invest yourself in this life. Be more consistent. And if you look at, some people like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, His Holiness the Dalai Lama getting up always, no matter which place, what time zone, he gets up at 3:30. Such a discipline. Whereas for us, okay, Nalanda Development course, 1 hour extra, then tomorrow we'll sleep 3 hours extra, right? So the point is that where is His Holiness? No. So this is all about cultivating the discipline. Cultivating the discipline. This is so important. And cultivating joy. Cultivating joy in doing virtues. Right? First, say in most cases, breakfast. We look forward to having breakfast. Right? We look forward. And then if somebody says, okay, tomorrow's your birthday, I'm going to give you a treat. So we'll have a lunch together in my house. So you don't have to prepare your lunch and you're looking forward to it. And it's going to be a nice lunch, delicious. You find joy in this. So you don't find it as something bothering you or as the problem. No. They say at this time, if this time can be replicated more, the more you like it. So finding joy in virtue, in doing virtues, this is something that we really need to think of. So number one, saying how can we cultivate, okay, how to do the virtue, number one. Then how to feel the joy in doing the virtue. Two things. Number one, how to do the virtue. What is virtue? How to do this virtue? Once you know that, okay, yeah, now I know what this virtue is, but then it's quite tiring. So I don't feel like, consistently doing it. So to make it consistent, then the joy must be there. This element of joy. How to bring in this joy, element of joy in this virtue. This is so important. Okay, for this, I personally would say that the study of the Buddhist psychology, let's say what? The Buddhist, particularly say how the mind works, the functions of the mind, the 51 mental factors, and then more closely the 5 omnipresent mental factors. These are just amazing how these 5 operate. On that basis, we can really administer our mind, and that we get a feeling of joy. The feeling of joy as we engage in the virtues, and then feeling of the unpleasant feeling as we engage in non-virtues. How to make it? Study the Buddhist psychology well, the functions of the mind, and particularly the mind in its various facets, like the gross and the subtle mind, and then the mind which is more the impulse oriented, and the mind which is rational oriented. Just check. And then the tendencies, how the tendencies drive our mind, the tendencies, imprints. And wow, that's amazing. That's very true. So, say some people have a tendency that after the lunch and dinner, you should have a sweet dessert, right? If the dessert is not there, the food is incomplete. And some people, they have a tendency for what is that? The coffee or a tea after the lunch or dinner. And if that is not there, then it's not really complete. Okay, and then it has become like a habit. What is meant by habit? Habit means building up this tendency, building up the tendency to make it strong. So find the tendencies, they drive who we are. And then tendencies are operated on the basis of these 5 omnipresent mental factors. And then within this, the tendency of joy, tendency of sadness, tendency of anxiety. So the point is that the study of Buddhist psychology so well, and how by the maneuvering, how by manipulating this the mental factor of the discrimination, how we can create a pleasant feeling of the 5 omnipresent mental factors: contact, attention, discrimination. Number 3, number 4, feeling. How by maneuvering the discrimination, or how by manipulating, or how by say the formatting, or how by the managing this discrimination well, then you decide your feelings. Say engaging in the virtues, the discrimination related to the virtues, and then the pleasant feeling is triggered. How to make that happen? What kind of discrimination required to trigger the pleasant feeling? With a pleasant feeling, then the intention to continue doing it to be consistent with the virtues will happen. So this incredibly beautiful thing. So when we see things in a very comprehensive way, we see that the study of the Buddhist psychology, for one's own well-being, for one's own dharma practice, is so instrumental. Okay. So the point is that the first, what is meant by virtue, how to engage in it, and then to make it consistent, then to make it happy journey, feeling the pleasant feeling accompanying this journey. How to make it happen? It is by managing the mental factor of discrimination. For example, let's say that, okay, the simple example which we gave last time was, say, okay, something pricked your foot. Something pricked your foot and it's very painful. Then you curse it, and then without looking at it, you just try to throw it away, right? Which means that, and then the rest of the day, you think about what pricked, it'll make you feel irritated. Whereas if you look at it very clearly, and you see there's a diamond, then there's such a joy there, right? Such a joy there. So the whole purpose, I want to practice dharma, but I have to also go for my job. I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. This diamond will free you from your job, free you from having to go for your job, right? Then you can dedicate fully on dharma. Then you will feel that I'm so grateful to this thing which pricked my foot, right? So then the cognitive thought process, discrimination is that it really benefited me. This is a great blessing in disguise for me. When you say it's a great benefit for me, when you feel that cognitively, when you realize that this is a great benefit for me, the feeling that is accompanying is a very pleasant feeling. This pleasant feeling you wanted. So therefore, you wanted, embrace intention to embrace it. Intention to continue with this experience. So this makes you the virtue. This makes you a virtue. Let's say the bodhicitta practice. Let's say that, okay, method of equalizing and exchanging self for others. In a nutshell, in essence of this practice, let's say that, we can put this, okay, there are 9 steps. But we can put it very concisely that what I want is, I want happiness. I don't want suffering. This must be very clear in your mind. I want happiness. I don't want suffering. This is one. Then the next one is that this suffering, for any suffering, there is a self-centered attitude coming. Where the self-centered attitude is not there, suffering is not there. For example, say somebody says that, okay, let's say the 4 of us are here, and then the person comes and says, all the 4 idiots there, right? And then the 4 idiots there, and then the Mr. Sitanla, he may start laughing, oh, 4 idiots, right? And whereas I may feel so angry, my ego is hurt, right? The same word, someone is laughing, somebody is irritated, and somebody is neutral, right? What makes it happen? Because of the ego, selfishness, self-centered attitude that unnecessarily attracts irritation within me. So why are you so calm, peaceful, amazing, right? I look at Mr. Sitanla and say, wow, you're amazing. There's no anger within you. In fact, you see it's a fun. There's a joy in him. But in my case, there's a tremendous anger, irritation there. And then let's say that my mother comes and says that, Dorji, some tea for you. What tea? What tea? Look, so this, then I make myself unhappy. I make my mother unhappy. Whereas if I'm little sensible, I look at Mr. Sedan, wow, he's so calm. And in fact, it was a great fun for him. There's a joy in him. When somebody says, you're an idiot, and then he finds joy. I feel agitation. I feel pain. Why? What's the difference? The same word, not that Dorji, you're an idiot, he is good. No, all 4 idiots. But for him, it's a fun. For me, it's painful. Why? For only one reason. There is something inside me which was not inside him. What is that? Self-centered attitude. More intense version of self-centered attitude. From this, we must gain a very strong conviction that the self-centered attitude is the one which attracts the pains. This is what we have to gain conviction. We have to gain conviction in this. And then from this, you must be able to infer that any pain, say the trauma, anxiety, depression, while other factors are there, but in the absence of this self-centered attitude, trauma, depression, panic attack, this will not happen. But it doesn't mean that those people who go through panic attack, they have a stronger self-centered attitude. No, that's not true. Because the point is that external factors, for us, for example, say at the moment, I don't have panic attack, not because that I'm amazing, the practitioner of compassion, simply because the factors are not there. Severe external factors are not there. But for some external factors my self-centered attitude and person B's self-centered attitude can be of same degree, but when I don't encounter with the external factors, severe external factors, whereas for the other person, encounter with the severe external factors, such as loss of the near and dear ones, such as all the tragic things happening one of the other, then external factors, they are so severe that the inside self-centered attitude can easily act to trigger the panic or to make anxiety. Okay, so with this what I'm saying, but the point is that if your self-centered attitude is not there, no matter how severe the external factors are there, you will never have the panic attack, you will never have depression, the stress, anxiety, and so forth. This for sure. Okay, from this, right, that instead of feeling Instead of feeling unhappy about yourself, feel very happy that now I've discovered that the from looking at Mr. Chaitanya myself, he feels it fun and I feel it so hurt because of my self-centered attitude. This is very clear. So self-centered attitude is the one which attracts my pains. So that is my enemy. What does it mean by enemy? Enemy is somebody one who creates pain on you. That is my enemy. The real enemy is the self-centered attitude. This is what we need to have. From this, the point is that, say, the link between all the miseries that I go through, and the self-centered attitude, this link must be seen very clearly. The first thing that we need to see, that we need to be sure is that I want happiness, I don't want suffering. Number one. Number two is that all the suffering which I don't like, they come from the self-centered attitude. So anybody who helps to remove this self-centered attitude, they are my benefactors. This conviction should be there. Anybody who helps to remove my self-centered attitude, they are my benefactors. They are the ones who are going to remove all my miseries, all my acute miseries, sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, anxiety. All these things will be removed by somebody helping me to remove my self-centered attitude. This link must be very clear. Okay, look, I want happiness and not suffering. Number one, the suffering is because of the self-centered attitude. Two, and anybody who helps to remove the self-centered attitude, they are my benefactors. Benefactors, okay, when you see somebody, when you cognitively, when you see somebody as benefactor, what feeling accompanies that cognitive thought process? Pleasant or unpleasant feeling? Oh, she's my benefactor, he's my benefactor. Pleasant or unpleasant? Pleasant. You're getting it? Pleasant. So that person, anybody who helps me to get rid of this self-centered attitude is my benefactor. But the moment you say, is my benefactor, you will have a feeling of ease. A very pleasant feeling will come to you. And do you want this pleasant feeling or you don't want the pleasant feeling? You want the pleasant feeling. And who gave you the pleasant feeling? That person who helps you get into the self-centered attitude. Then you want to embrace it. You want to intention to continue to embrace this person. And who is that person? Actually, your enemies. The people who create problems on you. Only those people who create problem on you, they will help you to identify that you have the self-centered attitude within you, which is the real enemy. So these external enemies, they are the enemies. They are the enemies as in facade. They are not your real enemies. Real enemies is the one inside self-centered attitude. So anybody, whether your mother, whether your father, whether your what you call as enemies, they help you to identify this internal enemy. That is the greatest of the benefactor. So when you see somebody in the face as a benefactor, you have a pleasant feeling. So that is the virtue. Virtue to not, okay, look, if you're able to embrace that person who otherwise is harming you, if you're able to embrace this person, look, all these non-virtues will stop. Anger will stop. Anger is the one which opens the gate to all the non-virtuous actions. All non-virtuous actions will stop. Nobody can they drag you into say non-virtuous anymore, because the worst person who can drag you into non-virtuous is your conventional enemy. Now you see that person as not enemy. That person is the greatest of the benefactor. So you see that all your non-virtues stop and your virtues simply grow, and there's such a joy happening within you. The joy in seeing anybody. So this is known as finding joy in virtues. This is an incredibly precious piece of, say, the knowledge for us to know. And then with this, you have to practice it. Continue to reflect on this. How? By, I want happiness, I don't want suffering. The happiness that I get is related to the other cherishing. The suffering that I get is related to self-centered attitude. Anybody who helps me to get to self-centered attitude is my real benefactor. And who is that? Anybody, including enemies. So the moment you think about the enemies, you see them as benefactor. to help me identify this self-centered attitude and identify it and remove it. Wow, is my benefactor. The more you see that self-centered attitude is at the core of my suffering, and that the enemies are helping me to identify that, to uproot it. They are so precious. So, and then the see that the self-centered attitude, and then the pains. Okay, let's say self-centered attitude and the opposite of the six perfections. Opposite of the six perfections, and the opposite of six perfections giving rise to the six pains, six different pains, and these pains I don't want it, and they causally I can see they are connected to the self-centered attitude, and this person is helping me to get rid of this. Other cherishing comes, self-centered diminishes. This is the law of nature. Other cherishing comes, self-centered attitude diminishes. So, and then the other people, my proper thinking helps me to increase the other cherishing. As I cherish others, my self-centered attitude diminishes. So that is the greatest benefit to me. They are the benefactors. So this link, very clear link, saying that the pains I don't want, this is so agonizing, this is so scary pain. This is because of these non-virtuous actions and thoughts, which in turn are because of self-centered attitude. They're all, the mastermind is self-centered attitude. And when I cherish others, this self-centered attitude undermines. As a self-centered attitude undermines, this negativity stop and my pains go away. This is such a great blessing that I'm able to cherish others, that my pains go away. So your thought that my pain, I don't want this pain is so agonizing. This must be vivid in the mind. This must be vivid in the mind. So the pains, I don't want it. Okay, some people say they who are addicts. Okay, let's say alcoholics, right? They cannot stop the alcohol at all. They cannot stop alcohol. And then when a warning is given, if you don't stop it, you will have to leave this world within 2 months. No, I don't want to leave this one. What does it mean by leave the means? Die. I don't want to die, right? Death associated with the alcohol, then the person stops alcohol. Because you can see the causal relationship in these two so vividly, so clearly. Likewise, that the pains related to self-centered attitude and the other cherishing undermines self-centered attitude. This must be very clear in the mind. So with this, then we see that we can rectify the cognitive thought process, discrimination, that these people help me to, the more I cherish these people who are otherwise very difficult people, the more I cherish, my self-centered attitude will be undermined. The more self-centered attitude undermines, my pains disappear. So these people, instead of creating pain on me, they actually help me to remove my pains. So this causal relationship, when you see that, then they say these people are helping me. Cognitively, you know that these people are helping me to get rid of my self-centered attitude. Then the feeling that you get is the very pleasant feeling. So this pleasant feeling will make you to feel that, okay, I'm helping you. No. This is a beautiful practice related to the bodhicitta practice. Say, oftentimes, let's say that when we help somebody, we get a feeling, right? Number one, the very gross one is that I'm helping you, so therefore, say expectation in return. I expect you to help me. I expect you to say something nice about me. I expect you not to fight back with me, right? I expect you to help me when I'm in need of your help. Expectation. This is a very gross way of helping others. Whereas, say the more refined version of helping others is, okay, you help this, okay, you are accumulating positive karma, right? Positive karma, you will do the benefit. Then another one is, this is beautiful. And others, okay, help others, so what? So others are benefited. This one. Another one, and this can be, okay, others are benefited, so what? So let it happen. So this can be quite dangerous, quite not dangerous. At one point, you can give up. With this attitude, the others are benefited, it's fine. So what? Whoever benefits, somebody benefits. So why should you have to have some expectations return? No need. If this is the attitude, it will go to some extent, but then at a certain point it can break down, because when you see that the other person being constantly nasty towards you, then you're feeling that you also samsari being. You are not a Buddha. If you're a Buddha, all these teachings are not required, because you are not a Buddha. Not a Buddha means there's a self-centered, seed of self-centered attitude is there. It's a matter of degree. It is there. You will reach to a point where this self-centered within you can become manifest. When it becomes manifest, then you will feel, say, the burnout. Okay, enough is enough. Right? Then one day you will say, enough is enough. I've seen many of them. Some people who are so enthusiastic, help. I tell them, okay, good. But please continue to say this, help. Continue to say this, and therefore, sometime for like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Just within a short span of time, the person comes back and says that enough is enough. Right? Okay, this I've seen. So the point is that finally, keep in mind that let us be honest, that we are not Buddhas. Buddhas, not being Buddhas means you have the self-centered attitude. Arahats have self-centered attitude. You have the self. And forget about the Buddhas. We are not even a bodhisattva on the part of accumulation. Which means that the bodhisattvas, till for the intelligent bodhisattvas, till the part of preparation, the self-centered attitude is quite vividly there. Then for the part of preparation, then the self-centered attitude, say the manifest version, stops. Whereas for the caliber bodhisattvas, till the path of seeing. And for the less the faculty bodhisattvas, and the eighth bhumi of the path of meditation. So even for the bodhisattvas, some of them till 8th bhumi, you see that there's the manifest self-centered attitude coming. And for us, what I mentioned of the self-centered attitude coming within us. So with the self-centered attitude, it will manifest one day. When it becomes manifest, then no doubt you will say, enough is enough. But you say that, then what makes me to do all these things? Because of my kindness towards others. I should not be kind towards others. This is how people, they give up their virtues. Whereas the most beautiful practice, where you don't find burnout. At the same time, you keep going faster and faster, right? More the problems, more the joy that you feel. This is the practice of the method of equalizing and exchange yourself for others. So where you see that, okay, I'm benefiting you, right? I'm benefiting you. Okay, otherwise, I'm benefiting you, so you have to pay back to me. But here, the very advanced, very sophisticated version. Okay, let me say, I will not speak about the mechanism. I'll give you the analogies. Say all instances of benefiting others. One, where you benefit and you expect that the other person to say nice thing about you, and you expect there are some expectations in return. This one, random benefit, and another benefit is, yeah, it doesn't matter. Why do you have to expect anything in return? Just do it, do it and live and forget. Do the good thing and forget. Don't think about anything behind that. And then later on, the person continues to be nasty towards you, and then you will reach to a set point where you say, enough is enough. This is number 2. Then number three, where you do the benefit, you benefit, and the person continues to take advantage of you more and more. And then you continue to benefit, and as you benefit continuously, your joy keeps growing. And you feel, instead of feeling that I'm doing something for you, you feel that you are doing something for me, right? You are doing, conventionally speaking, you are doing something for the other person, despite the other person taking advantage of you and being constantly nasty towards you. The more the other person is nasty towards you, the more you feel that, that person is they're helping me. And then the more you do, there's more energy coming in within you. Okay, tell me, If you are to engage in any virtue or benefit to others, so which of the three categories would you be happy about, most happy about? The first, second, or the third? Okay, say the first one, raise your hands. No. Second one, raise your hands. Okay, third one, raise your hands. Okay, third one is extremely wise, because third one, finally the thing is that, okay, even if the purpose is just to benefit, benefit consistently, and benefit increases all the time, no matter what situation. Whereas in the second case, it depends on the situation. It is situational. When the second case, where the other person is not consistently nasty, then you continue to benefit. Where the person is constantly nasty, then you will reach a set point where you said enough is enough. Okay? With the third case, the benefit, no matter what the other person, reaction of the other person, your benefit keeps increasing and your happiness keeps increasing. For the other person, benefits keeps increasing, and for you, your happiness keeps increasing. Right? Which other person never experienced before. Okay. The third one is so beautiful. If this happens, you will never have a burnout issue. Your body, physical body, your physical body has a limit. Your physical body may require a little bit of rest. Mentally, you will never feel burnout. This is incredibly beautiful practice. And this, if we tell this to the ordinary people, people cannot digest this concept. Because of this, Bodhisattva Shantideva said that this is to be maintained as a confidential instruction. Why confidential? Because ordinary people cannot digest this. If you say this, people say, you're crazy. These things never happen. Tell me where it is happening. Nowhere it is happening. People will tell you like that. So therefore, the Bodhisattva Shantideva advised you to keep it confidential, this instruction. Okay, so this is incredible, beautiful practice where, say, you cherish others. You cherish others, think of benefiting others. Look, this is so beautiful. You think of benefiting others, you see that my other cherishing is building up, is intensifying. As the other cherishing intensifies, you know that my self-centered attitude is diminishing. And as you know that as self-centered attitude diminishes, all the connected negative thoughts and the pains, acute pains, they are diminishing. Actually, my helping you is actually helping me to diminish the pains. And my goal, whether I'm helping you or not, this is not this goal or not goal, it doesn't matter. For me, I don't want suffering. Anything that I do, if my suffering goes away, I'll do it. And then benefiting you, my suffering goes down. That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. This is so good. So the more you cherish others, more you see that my thing is not compromised. Right? I am constantly gaining more. The more you cherish, the more I'm happy. The more my self-centered attitude is undermined, more my pains are undermined. Wow, this is so kind. You are so... Then at one point, the feeling that you can feel towards others, it is like, then at one point, it is like where the two siblings, extremely loving siblings, extremely loving, who dare not even to be separated for like 1 hour, always being together, right? And you see your sister becoming popular. You're becoming popular. You feel so proud, so happy, and then whatever good thing that you have, you like to give your sister. Likewise, the sister also thinks about the same thing towards you. This is one time these thoughts will come to you. Then so finally what is happening, self-centered attitude, when it goes down, what is really happening is that the gold inside with the mud of the self-centered attitude is undermining, then the gold inside starts to glow. This glow is so beautiful. Glow with rejoice, glow with love. How the two siblings who love each other so much, who cannot be separated. So this kind of feeling can come at one point. And then you keep doing this practice. Then at a certain point, when the mud of the self-centered attitude is removed more and more, then the gold starts to glow even more vibrantly. Then at that point, you feel, literally, you will start feeling as though like you are like a mother. And all other sentient beings, they are like ailing children, very fragile and ailing. And then the mother loves the children so much. When they do anything bad, nasty, you just feel that, how I wish that I can help. This feeling will come. So at that point, then the earlier your thought that, okay, that's actually helping me, that is distance. Now, what you're doing is purely for others, not at all with any ulterior motive. Now my self-centered attitude is going down. Now my suffering is going down. This will all automatically go away, and your feeling of love and affection will become so pure naturally. Okay, this is, if you think about it, this is exactly like, let's say, how some of the children, they build this love and affection towards the parents. At one point, the children, I'll say some children, not all, not all, some children, they, when they see that their parents are sick, or their parents have some kidney problem, the children, they are so happy to give their own kidneys, or they would be so happy to give their life for the parents. And they, of course, I'm not too sure about the other culture, but in the ancient Asian culture, for example, like India, Tibet, and so forth, in these places, the feeling of gratitude, this is being, one, it is naturally coming up. Number two is that culturally, this is being taught. Culturally, this is being taught, this is being learned in the Asian culture, generally speaking. So therefore, the children, when they grow to age 20, 30, 40, when they see the parents, it's very different. It's not like, okay, my mother is so overprotective, and then there's feeling of the rift between the parents. There's is, I say, less likely. Okay, so the point is that there are cases where the children, they grow to this stage whereby they simply dare to give their life for the well-being of their parents. Okay, let's say this child give their life for the parents, means that the son or the daughter, this person, they say, does not want to have any benefit for oneself. No expectation at all. My question to you, how did it happen? Was this feeling there within the same person day one the person was born? No, it was not there. How did it start, this question? How did it start? Oftentimes people talk about, when I talk about the bodhicitta, the recalling the kindness of others, you are benefited by benefit of others, you benefit. Then people, one question which most often times they comes to me is that, so you talk about the bodhicitta, you talk about cherishing others, but then they say behind the curtain there is, then you'll be benefited. There's always the ulterior motive of the agenda there, of the personal benefit. So this says, for this will give the answer. So this child, at one point, when the child grows, that to become an adult and daring to give everything for one's mother, for one's the father, including one's life, so without any expectation in return. So how does this feeling of the gratitude, of total selflessness came to this person? Day one the child is born? No, not at all. Then the day one the child is born, is there love towards the mother? No, not at all. And some people, they heard about a little bit of science research there, there's umbilical, they say the contact with the mother and the mother's womb. Well, they say once a child is born, it can be rare. 1 out of 1 million. 1 out of 1 million children, they may display the exceptional qualities. Otherwise, generally speaking, anybody who picks up this day one old child, this person, the child will start to love this person, generally speaking. Okay, so this is how, and then over time, like age 3, 4, 5, then the child cannot bear the pain of seeing the prospect of the the child getting separate from the mother. This feeling starts to build up. So this feeling took like 3, 4 years to build up to this level of the intensity. Why? How this child builds up this feeling of the closeness towards the mother, built up within like 3, 4 years time, not to the neighbor's mother. Why not to this mother, your mother? Why? Because the child, because what? You will all have the answer. Because this child feels that person who is known as the mother is the one, the source of the benefit for the child. This child continues to see that person identified as mother is the one who is the source of benefit for the child. So with this, then where the benefit is, the mind will flow. Where the mind flows, this is known as love and feeling of closeness. Feeling of closeness, your mind feeling close to the benefactor. This feeling of closeness is known as love and affection. And then it becomes very spontaneous, it becomes very intense. It's known as intense love and affection. Then over time, when the child becomes very thoughtful, very mature, then the child forgets about one's own benefit, dares to give everything to the mother, to the father. So that becomes total selfless love and affection. So it started from personal agenda. You're getting it? So likewise, we can practice it. And then at one point, so the cherishing others, your self-centered attitude goes down. Cherishing others, your self-centered attitude goes down. The gold, the mud is constantly being removed. And the gold starts to shine. What is this gold? This gold, the shine of benefiting others. Then the benefiting others override one's own personal agenda. Then over time, when the self-centered attitude is gone completely, then it shines perfectly well. This is known as total selflessness. So at a certain point, you reach to a level whereby your agenda totally disappears. And then you feel as though like naturally you don't want to build it like this. Naturally, you will start feeling as though like your mother. How the mother feels towards the children when the disabled child is being bullied by somebody else, accused by somebody else, criticized by somebody else. So the mother will feel the pain. Right? This is exactly what happens when you practice this, the cherishing, cherishing others, diminishing self-centered attitude. So this logic and the psychology of the practice of equalizing and exchanging method. Okay. So this is the point is you remove the cognitive, rectify the cognitive thought process, which is the discrimination, mental factor of discrimination, and the feeling is rectified. Instead of unpleasant feeling, otherwise unpleasant feeling arises. Now pleasant feeling arises. With the pleasant feeling arises, you then embrace. It is not your enemy. It's your loved one. What you otherwise call as the enemy, now for you is a loved one. Okay, so this is how it is done. So another point is the joyous effort. How to build this joy, in the journey of embracing virtues. Okay. So along with this, we think of then counteracting these three lazinesses is the joyous effort. 3 kinds of joyous efforts. Then the one thing that we need to keep in mind is to avoid the 2 extremes. Even with the joyous effort, what we call as joyous effort. Right? When it really becomes joyous effort, this word joyous, when it really becomes joyous effort, you don't have to worry. Nobody has to worry about you. It's going to be a spontaneous engagement in virtues where you don't feel tired, where you don't feel burnout. But for us, the ordinary beings, when we pursue through this journey of embracing virtues, and then sometimes joy comes, sometimes more times no joy comes. And this is who we are. Now, under such situation, but then it is like keep in mind that okay, if the joy is not coming, then what's the point? I'll not do it. Then you will never ever engage in virtues because we come from somebody with a background of so rich in non-virtues. so rich in non-virtues, so happy with non-virtues. This is who we are. So, and then this will never give you a satisfactory happiness. We never get the real happiness. So now we have to revolutionize our thinking. We have to revolutionize thinking. What is that? Now say no to the non-virtues. Say yes to the virtue. But virtue is not the habit. Your habit is not virtue. So you're doing something which is not your habit, you'll find it a little difficult initially. Then as you engage in it, it becomes easier. It becomes you become more and more familiar to that. Then the joy starts to come in. And particularly bringing in the psychology, how the joy comes in, by bringing this knowledge here, then you can make this practice very efficient. So the point is that in the pursuit of for yourself, for ourselves, and for your friends and your family members alike, what is important is always try to strike a balance between the two extremes. One is excessive engaging into the virtues, excessive enthusiasm, excessive enthusiasm. Instead of joyous effort, I'll use the word enthusiasm. Excessive enthusiasm versus excessive laziness. We have to strike the balance. Where the excessive enthusiasm means that, oh, I learned about Buddhism. Buddhism is so beautiful, beautiful teaching. It's amazing. It talks about enlightenment. I will now sit for the meditation for the next 2 years. Then I'll become enlightened. Okay, first 2 months I will achieve the renunciation. The next 2 months I'll achieve bodhicitta. Then the next wisdom emptiness will take a little time, so I'll give 6 months. Then after this, Tantra is fun, is very interesting. I'll give it say the 1 month, and then enlightenment, Buddhahood. Okay, I will give. Okay, I will buy all the rations for the whole 2 years, whole truck of rations. Yeah, there are people like this. You're getting it, whole truck of rations for 2 years. And then I'll cut off from everybody else. I'll become enlightened within 2 years. The standard one is 3 years, right? Buddha was 6 years. And now people are more efficient. They say 3 years. And then I'm more efficient on 2 years, right? And Buddha 6 years. And even the real story of the Buddha is like 3 countless eons. But in this life, he demonstrated as 6 years. And the ordinary people, they are more smart. They 3 years. And for me, it can be like 2 years. Then finish. Before 2 years, you realize that the journey is very long. Then you give up. Right? This is what happens. Okay, so the point is that striking the balance between the laziness and the over-enthusiasm. So many of the highly realized teachers, the meditators, the scholar come meditators, the advice is that over-enthusiasm is an indication of you quitting the Dharma practice altogether. Over-enthusiasm is an indication of you quitting the Dharma altogether. This is what is said. So over-enthusiasm. And it also said that over-enthusiasm is also the activities of the demons. Over-enthusiasm is also the activities of the demons. What's the job of the demons? Job of the demon is to lure you so that you will not succeed in your journey of happiness. And then they lure you in different ways. One way is by procrastination. Delay. This is one way of luring you. With the trivialities, showing the trivial chocolates and so forth. And the other one is making you over-enthusiastic. And when you become over-enthusiastic, the moment you wake up to see that this is not the reality, I'm being totally unrealistic, then you give up. Yeah. Okay, so the advice is that, when you go through the studies, Dharma practice and so forth, if you feel a little tired or for whatever reason something is not happening, it is very important that in your life you must look for a mentor. May not be root guru, right? I would say the people who are more into the modern education, they are so addicted to look for root gurus. Root guru is no hurry, no hurry root guru. Look for somebody who is number one, knowledgeable, number two, experienced, number three, compassionate. Somebody who has a very comprehensive picture. If possible, two or three. If possible, two or three. Knowledgeable, experienced, and compassionate. And then don't bother this person too much. Then the person will tired and will quit. Then will disconnect you. Right? Okay, what should I do? Okay, should I have coffee or tea? Don't talk about these things, right? The major things. Once in a while, you can ask the serious points. Okay, so this is very important. Very important to have somebody. It's not necessary, and you don't have to take that person as your root guru. In the Tibetan, people don't really look for what is known where's my root guru, who should be my root guru. No, this is a new fashion among the people from the what is the modern educated people. I don't know who created this fashion. And then do you have who's your root guru? Oh, I don't have root guru. Oh, without root guru, you will not become enlightened, right? Because you have to become enlightened within 2 years. This is the attitude, right? Yeah, now we are on the way to enlightenment within 2 years. So you will not become enlightened within 2 years. This is the sense of the emergency created by the people. So be very careful. No need for root guru. Just study well. Study well, and once you study well, you get a good picture of the dharma, your experience, your dharma. From there, you will see who's a good teacher, and then from there you decide. Oh, now I have found my teacher. You're getting it? Till that point, no rush for root gurus, right? Okay. So the point is that when you feel tired, or when you feel that something's not going right. Okay, I don't know. There must be so much of negative karma. I don't know what I said. Okay, don't feel demoralized. Don't just jump to say that I have negative karma. You're getting it? Maybe because you might be lacking sleep. Maybe because you might have some fatigue coming because of lack of the vitamin B12, right? Maybe because of you lacking the vitamin D. Because of that, you feel fatigue. Fatigue means you don't have energy to even say the gade. When you say gade, you feel fatigue, right? And you may say, oh, maybe negative karma. No, it's not negative karma. Check your blood. Have a blood test, right? B12 to D or some problem there. And then what about your sleep? What about your food? Are you taking proper food? Right? Are you having proper sleep? With all these things intact, and there's no reason why I should be not be doing these things. Whereas with the pubs, going to nightclubs, right? No fatigue, right? And then with the gade, then the fatigue comes. Then you have to think of something. Okay, maybe it's my karma, right? And then do some purification. Otherwise, when you go to pubs, also fatigue. You go to nightclubs, also fatigue. Gade also fatigue. No problem. This is some problem with your health. Okay, fix the health and you'll be all right. You don't have to recite the mantras, purification practice. No need. Yeah. And many people will say, oh, you have to do purification. No, just fix your health. Right? And then fix your health. Then you go into the Dharma practice. It will become very efficient. Meanwhile, you must be in a very good, one is a mentor. Number two is a good Sangha group. Good Sangha group. Sensible Sangha group, not blind faith Sangha group. Right? Everywhere blind faith. Oh, you have this problem. It must be obstacle. Recite the recite the Vajrasattva practice through some retreats, and then you what little study that you are doing, emptiness, even that you stop and the retreat with the label of the retreat, you stop your studies. Without the studies, no reflection, no basis for reflection. Without the reflection, no basis for meditation. So this is how when you are surrounded by the blind faith people, again there's a problem. So make sure that they are sensible Sangha group. That's very important. Okay, we stop here. Oh, one or two questions if you have. One or two questions if you have. Anyone? Okay, Smita ji. Unmute.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Kisla?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. So you said that tendencies and habits tend to drive our mind, right? Whether we are doing virtues or non-virtues, but a lot of these tendencies are coming from the past lives, right?
Yes, yes.
How do we control that? I mean,
okay, this is a very good question. This is a very good question. Thank you. Okay, say on the one hand is about the cognitive thought process, which drives the feelings, and the feelings decide our intention, and the intention is what, whether virtuous or non-virtuous. But at the same time, there's the tendencies or the imprints, which drives us into our different thought processes and so forth. For that matter, let's say that let's say that number one, tendencies, they will act on our what is known as the behavior. Tendencies will act on our behaviors. Same study, reflection, and meditation. Three things. And say the behaviors, what the behavior is, okay, that the tendencies drive. Don't worry too much. Say the one thing is be with the good companion. For example, say the Smitaji, you speak a very beautiful English because you are born in an area where people are speaking English, family speaking English. And whereas you don't speak Tibetan, you are not born in a Tibetan speaking area. You're getting it? So the environment makes a huge difference. Environmental influence. So your tendencies from the past life is one. And then the new tendencies built by the influence of the environment, two. Right? And then still the new tendencies to be built by your study, reflection, and meditation. So therefore, we have to say the fact that you are all being a part of the Nalanda diploma course, Nalanda, right? Where the rich intellectual discourse is happening for enriching your reflection, to make your meditation extremely effective. We are very fortunate, which means that it must be because of some very strong karmic imprints from the past lives, tendencies from the past lives that connect us to this kind of environment. This is very positive. From this, now the thing is try to create a good environmental influence. For that matter, Sangha group, which I'm talking about, where the Buddha said that the best thing is go with a good companion. But better it is to go by yourself if you don't find good companions. Let's not forget this. The best is to go with good companions, number one. Whereas if you don't find good companions, better it is to go alone than to go with bad companions. Which means Sangha. Sangha is so important. The environment. We have to create Sangha. Now we can create virtual Sangha. Yeah, because of the digital world. It's so easy. For example, here we see that there are people all from the Costa Rica, then from the Chad. Where are you from? Chad? Holland. From Holland. Then Massimo from Italy. Are you? Massimo? From Italy. And then from the Russia, Alexei from Russia. Then Laura from where?
From the United States.
from United States, then Lian Chu from Singapore. So we see that all these different people are together. Together, this is an incredibly precious sangha because of the digital world. Yeah, so this is very important. And then the very important part is the self cultivation, study, reflection, and meditation. So study and reflection, study per se will not really affect your behavior governed by the tendencies as much. With the studies, you will go into the reflection. Reflections will start to change your tendencies, and the meditation will actually change your tendencies. This is how we have to the growth. This is known as the growth. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Smita ji. Any more questions? Okay, Abelardo ji, then the Kanjanla. First, Abelardo.
You talked today about the eighth bhumi, but you haven't taught us about what are bhumis. So could you?
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's true. This is Shugela. What happened? We did not teach the 8 bhumis. NMC is waiting. I see. There's NMC.
Yeah.
Abelardo. There must be NMC waiting there for Abelardo and the group. I'm joking. So all these will be detailed studied. In fact, what we have studied thus far, this is too much material within a short span of time. And if you want to study more, then it is like over enthusiasm, which may not be too healthy, right? Okay. So
I just want to know what you're talking about. That's all.
Okay, don't worry. I'm just joking. So Abelardo, so basically the thing is that sometimes I deliberately do things which we have not even touched. I just mentioned this. Okay, something is there, right? And then it'll hit your mind. And then later on, when somebody talks about the 10 bhumis, yeah, this is something which I should know. So enthusiasm is there. Joy is there. So these are all in a way, is like a tricks. Yeah, tricks for us to connect to the wider, broader, deeper the materials in the future. Okay, where Kangjinla? Kangjinla?
Gisela, you said that at the time when a child is born, he's unaware of the surrounding by his consciousness. Like if his mother is changed, if someone else adopt him, like he won't, like it won't affect. But when I read a book and it said that like his subconscious is aware of his surrounding, and I thought like if his mother is changed, like physically I don't think there is any effect. But what about like mental consciousness, like?
Okay. Also, the Kangjinla, it is in a book,
Yes.
not in the reality.
Actually, like by hypnotize, he's saying that.
Okay, hypnotism. Without hypnotism,
Oh.
it is not experienced.
No.
So somebody has to be hypnotized. Okay, what I'm saying is that I told you already that 1 out of 1 million incidents can be there, and hypnotism, to what extent it is true, is still questionable. You're getting it? With hypnotism, to what extent it is true is still questionable. And I would never say that hypnotism is wrong, faulty. I'll never say that this is so good. I'm very neutral. You're getting it? The reality is that you just pick up any child, right? Any child born, and you pick that up, and then they say you let the child call you mom, or dad, and then after a while the child will just call you Kanji Dumala, you are a girl, but the child will call you dad. You're getting, or you teach him or her how to call you mom, the child will call you mom. You're getting it? And then after a while, say when the child becomes, when the brain constantly develops, the brain is so immature, at the time of day 1, day 2, the brain is not really mature at that point. So the age 3, 4, so that the language brain develops at that point. And then at a certain point, then the cognitive thought process become active. At that point, then they will ask, okay, people tend to look at me differently, say between me and my mom, right? So there's no problem with somebody else, but with me and my mom, there's a problem. But he and his mom, there's no problem. She and her mom, there's no problem. With me and my mom, somebody looks at me very strangely. So, are you not my mom? All these questions will come later, not day 1 old. You're getting it? In other words, realistically speaking, the child does not know who you are. Research means that it is not evidently witnessed. You're getting it? So somebody has to deliberately pick up the nuances, and even that is not displayed by everybody. You're getting it? Yeah. Okay, we should be very the practical. Say some children who are adopted since the birth, then only when they grow like age, only when they see the difference in the facial. Okay, the face is Asian, and my mother's face is the Western. How come that? And the people say that, where's your mother? This is mother? No. How come? Then you start asking. You're getting it till that point. Till that question was asked from some strangers, the person thinks that she is my mother. You're getting it? Yeah. Okay, good. Any more questions? Anybody? Okay, Gayatri ji.
Venerable Geshala, I just wanted to ask you that during my single point meditation, when I'm sitting for the 21 counts of the you told me to concentrate in 2 ways, in the sense to have a white bindu between the lip and the nose, and not to actually count deeply, but just to count each breath as it happens naturally. The thing is, when I'm I'm completely concentrating on the breath, then the bindu becomes prevalent. It is there, but the bindu is not a concentration. And when I'm on the bindu, then the number just happens automatically. It is not that I'm able to concentrate on the two together. One becomes important, another is prevalent.
Okay.
And also, Geshala, what happens is that able to do, I know, but the second 21 becomes very difficult. Then my mind start getting scattered.
Okay, so this is okay. In fact, Gayatri ji, I say whichever you are more emphasizing, on the bindu, then the bindu becomes very prominent, and then the count happens automatically. And we focus on the count. The count is very prominent, and the bindu appearance becomes, say, naturally there, but not as emphasized. Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. Eventually, it should become like. So without any effort, effortlessly, everything coming to your preview. Effortlessly, everything should coming to your mind. This is known as the what there's a English there's a Tibetan expression which says that non-meditation is the greatest meditation. Where you reach to a level where you don't have to effortlessly think about it, and things happen very spontaneous. This is a best meditation. But don't go for the non-meditation, best meditation right from the beginning. You're getting it? The people are so excited. People are so curious when somebody says like a very... Okay, Gayatri ji. Okay, so when people talk about something catchy and the funny things, then everybody wants to do that right away. So we have to know when to do that. Yeah, it happens naturally. There's nothing to be done. It happens naturally. Number one. Then number two is what you said is the first 21 count. It is quite qualitative. There's quality there. But the second, then the distraction happens. If that happens, Then we have to think more about the benefit of concentration. And without the concentration, then the wisdom that I will cultivate is going to always be very, if it is waving, it does not have the power to cut the self-grasping ignorance. Without self-grasping ignorance cut, then the miseries will always be there. I'll continue to suffer. I don't want to suffer. So this, I must build the concentration. So all these benefits, reflecting the benefits, how they are closely connected to the building up the concentration. So these benefits must be seen. It's for this reason that many of the standard Buddhist the scriptures, you find that, for example, Guide to Bodhisattva's Way of Life, chapter 1 is the benefit of generating bodhicitta. So most of the books, you will see that the benefits are indicated in the first chapter. For that reason, benefits and what are you doing, how these two are connected. So without what you should be doing, without doing what you should be doing, you will not reap the benefit. Without this benefit, I will continue to suffer. I don't want to suffer. This is how we have to build. And then naturally, say the what do you call it, the valor, or the rigor. The rigor in your practice will come. This rigor will then stop them. The first one is of quality meditation. The second one will also have a quality. Then third might not have the quality. Then reflect more on the benefit. Then the third one has to quality. This is how we have to grow. Thank you. Okay, we'll stop here. Yeah, let's do our prayers.
Hello, Dipeshla, can you hear me?
Yes, Lord Allah.
Okay, thank you. Additional dedication prayers. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All-powerful Chintazik Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samantabhadra too realize things as they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these roots of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by all the Buddhas who appeared in the 3 times, so that I may perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. Chanchu sencho rinpoche ma ke pa na ke gyurche ke vanya pa me pa ya kone kondu pe varsho. May the Supreme Bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all beings without exception into that enlightened state. I dedicate their merit thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 3 times, and to the upholding of the Dharma of teaching and realization. May I, in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect view, and the 2 stages. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. By the power of practicing and supplicating to you, may all be free from sickness, poverty, and conflicts, and may Dharma and the auspiciousness proliferate in all the places where we abide. The path of the union of emptiness and compassion is lucidly explained by the protector of both the Dharma and the beings of the land of snows. You are the lotus holder Tenzin Gyatso. We supplicate you that your wishes are fulfilled spontaneously. May the operations of evil thoughts and deeds of the negative forces of humans and non-humans who harbor malice through perverted prayers against the teachings of the Buddhas be totally vanquished through the power of the truth of the 3 jewels. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma By completing the qualities of the stages in the paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always guided by Arya Manjushri and be able to uphold the Dharma in general and the teachings on dependent origination in particular, even at the cost of my life. Tayatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tayatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tayatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha. Thank you, Dipesh Lord.
Okay, thank you. See you again.